Hey, what's going on, everyone? James9Numbers here, and welcome to a short series that I've decided to create because I felt like it. In this 12-episode series, we will be going through some of the events, new music, new disasters, new games, new memes, and anything that I could find on the internet, blah blah blah, sorry about that has occurred in 2021. I'm sorry that I'm posting this series late. I had some stuff that I had to take care of, but I finally took care of it. So yeah, I was originally supposed to be posting this in the end of December 2021, but due to some time constraints, I actually couldn't make it. So yeah, I'm making this up to you. Each video is going to be representing each month of the year in 2021. Duh. Now keep in mind that I'm probably going to be missing out on a lot of things, and most likely because I'm probably unaware of them at the time of the video is recording. So, yeah, I came up with this idea back in September, and I had to go through the internet over the past 4 months just to see if there was anything that I could find that I wanted to add in the video. I've been trying to keep track since, but I'm pretty sure there's probably a lot that I've been missing out on. So if you want to, you can tell me in the comments below! As long as YouTube doesn't disable my comments again, like, god damn it, YouTube! Why are you doing this to some of my videos, God? Come on, YouTube! Anyways, oh my god, I am so sorry about that. Anyways, I'm also going to be mentioning shows that I've been watching over the past year because this year hasn't gone much better from 2020. I'm not kidding. And yes, I'm looking at my screen right now. I'm trying to read my script because there's no way I can remember all the words. Anyways, also there's going to be a chance that there will be some spoilers for some of what I'm talking about, so I'll make sure to post timestamps so you guys can actually skip forward. Also, some of the movies I've mentioned throughout the series that I actually haven't watched them at all. So I'm only summarizing the synopsis just so that way I can understand just what in the world the movie's about. So with that being said, I hope you all enjoy. On September 5th, the first episode of Kamen Rider Revice has been released, a week after the conclusion of Kamen Rider Saber. We actually first see Kamen Rider Revice from a big movie, Saber plus Zenkaiger, the superhero Zenki, to celebrate the 45th anniversary season of Super Sentai and the 50-year anniversary of Kamen Rider. Well, which is what Revice is. Kamen Rider Revice is the 50th anniversary, 50-year anniversary of Kamen Rider. The name Kamen Rider Revice is actually a merger of the two main Kamen Riders in the series, Kamen Rider Revice and Kamen Rider Vice. Usually, a Kamen Rider is usually like a titular character, which means the name of the Kamen Rider is literally the name, the hero. And Kamen Rider Revice is Iki Igarashi, a man who has a mission to protect his own home, family's business spa, and who had initially given up his dreams on becoming a great soccer player. And yeah, after his brother actually was about to become Kamen Rider Revice, a group known as the Deadmans came along, and which worships demons, ended up invading the base, and Iki ended up getting access to the Revice driver and ended up transforming. And before henching, his demon ended up showing up, which is Vice. And when he was finally released, he was about to eat Iki's mother, but Iki was able to stop it in time, and then he was able to contain him and henching. After winning their first battle, Iki basically was hesitant about joining Phoenix because he had to protect his own spa, but after a moral dilemma with Vice and all the other stuff, he eventually agrees to join Phoenix with his brother Daiji. And going over and being jealous, Daiji ends up getting so frustrated about his older brother getting all the credit that his own devil, Kagero, ended up being more thing. And Kagero would end up being Kamen Rider Evil. And as a response to Kamen Rider Evil, another officer, Hiromi Kadota, ends up transforming into Kamen Rider Demons to tackle it. After a struggle, Daiji ends up taking control of Kagero and becomes Kamen Rider Live with the same driver. Later on, their sister, Sakura Igarashi, actually ends up joining the club after a tough discussion, self-train of thought about strength and the need to become stronger, and she eventually gets access to the Libera driver, which we find out was from a secret organization known as The Weekend. And their goal, and yeah, that was main. That was those were the four main riders, and their main mission was to get rid of the Deadmans, which were run by Olteca, Julio, and Aguilera, who basically tries to bring up what looks like appears to be socialism. I guess that's what I heard. That's what I felt. I felt some socialist vibes from that, and apparently they use like the vice, their own vice stamps to make other people evil. And after Gift gets captured, the Phoenix, we later actually find out that Phoenix has secret intentions of actually reviving Master Gift. So, yeah. Oh yeah, and the Vice Stamps, by the way, were actually created by a Phoenix researcher named George Karizaki, who basically makes Vice Stamps and the drivers to basically help the Igarashi siblings. And after the Gift's capture, turns out Olteca and Phoenix are working on reviving Gift, and there's more fighting going on. And then we later find out that Hiromi's driver actually had a demon inside that was actually draining his life. So as a result, he had to stop using the driver, and Olteca ends up eventually getting the access to that spider driver. I forgot the name of it, but and becomes the new Kamen Rider demons before blowing Hiromi Kododa off the edge of a cliff and supposedly killing him. But we later find out that he actually survived in the new Kamen Rider Revice movie, Dear Gaga. But anyways, after Hiromi goes missing, there have been some suspicions going on, more information about Weekend, and George Karizaki later finds out about the Igarashi siblings' past, about Veil and why, and their father Genta Igarashi, which actually isn't his name. It was Junpei something. Turns out who Genta is actually Kamen Rider Veil, who basically did like some who basically fought as a Kamen Rider for evil many years ago, but apparently was saved by his wife. But yeah, after more struggles and Icky and Vice going through more problems thanks to Gift's influence, eventually Olteca gets defeated and gets absorbed by Gift. Oh yeah, and Aguilera and Julio goes back to human. His name is actually Go Tamaki, I think, and goes through his own problems and wants to be with his girl Aguilera, who actually ends up getting slapped by Gift after Gift's revival. And yeah, I hope you guys understood where I'm going with this. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. So if you guys don't, I'll put the link in the description for you guys to watch the series so that you guys can have a clear view of what I'm talking about. Alright, moving on. September 11th marked the 20th anniversary of 9/11, which was a terrorist attack that was caused by a group known as Al-Qaeda, who hijacked 4 planes and crashed into them in hopes of destroying the US and possibly the world. This was what got me to make the series in the first place, because it got me thinking about what the heck happened in 2021. People all across the internet were talking about their stories about what they were doing on that day. 9/11 ended up leaving a negative impact around the world and began what was known as the War on Terror. And really coincidental, because that's literally like a little after the disaster that was the fall of Kabul. So, yeah. On the same day, 22-year-old Gabby Petito ended up getting reported missing by her parents. And prior to the disappearance, she and her boyfriend Brian Laundrie left his home in Florida on a road trip in Petito's white van. Things appeared to be fine, and they have been married since 2020. But then on August 12th, there was a domestic dispute between the couple where witnesses saw Laundrie hit Petito very hard. Brian had also locked her out of the van. In the video, you can see Petito get very emotional. Afterwards, the police let them continue on as there was little evidence for criminal charges. However, that would prove to be a big mistake on the case. Afterwards, they posted their first and only video on YouTube a week later, just before Gabby disappeared. She was last seen alive on August 24th by police, and last heard from on the next day. There were a few witnesses who saw her after August 25th, but Laundrie returned to his home on September 1st without Petito. He refused to cooperate in the investigation, and on September 19th, her body was discovered at the Bridger-Teton National Park in Wyoming. She died from strangulation. As a result, there was an arrest warrant for Brian Laundrie. At that point, Laundrie had already went missing until his remains were discovered on October 20th. He was last heard of by his parents hiking in the Carlton Reserve. He died via a self-inflicted gunshot wound. That's messed up. On September 12th, YouTuber Bashurverse, also known as Toasty Time, has died due to complications from COVID-19 with pneumonia at the age of 36. His sister confirmed his death on Twitter. During his last days, he vlogged his experience with COVID and urged people to get the vaccine, as he didn't want others to go through what he went through. For those of you that don't know, Bashurverse was a popular Minecraft YouTuber who got into some serious controversy over his past relationship involving minors while he was in high school. Included was a 2004 police report of him dating a 15-year-old girl. He removed himself from his social media accounts following the controversy, and after his death, YouTubers H3H3 and Killer Keemstar from Drama Alert got into a fight over his death. Now, I'm sure you can all have your own opinions about this, but damn. All these years. Damn. That's insane. On September 13th, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez wore a dress that said, "Tax the Rich," at the 2021 Met Gala. The Gala is an event that was held at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in order to raise money for the costume department. Celebrities were there, and the theme was American independence. Yeah, patriotism and stuff. Yeah, there were some interesting moments that came out of it, like Jason Derulo's look-like fall from 2011, photoshopping cartoon characters, Kim Kardashian's all-black dress, but AOC's dress stirred up the most controversy. The online community went to work photoshopping her dress into hilarious political memes. Also note that it was weird that she wore a dress that says "Tax the Rich" when most of the people in the event were rich people. After the photo went viral, she responded that she attended the event for free, even saying the medium is in the message. But then 4 days later, the designer of the dress was called a rent deadbeat after it was discovered that Aurora James owed a lot of debt in multiple states, and she had dodged her taxes. Wow, what an ironic twist! The designer made a tax the rich dress, and yet she owes over $100,000 of taxes to other states. Yeah, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Wow. At around September 17th, Netflix released their South Korean movie known as Squid Game. Apparently in Squid Game there's a guy who's basically struggling to get money. He ends up winning the lottery, but oh, would you look at that, it gets stolen, and so struggling with the fact that he doesn't have any money, which he needs in order to take care of his wife and his child. A man randomly walks up to him and basically offers him some money for if he can win a game. He can do this as many times as he wants, and and apparently in this game there's like a square at the floor, and apparently your goal is to flip that square up with using the same square, and you take turns going and just slamming it until you can flip it upside down. If the main character lost, he would get slapped in the face as a punishment. And he can do this as many times as he wants. And after eventually winning, the main character finds out that he can win some more money if he chooses to play more games, thinking that it was going to be easy. And so he agrees, and eventually we later find out he and 455 other people were actually kidnapped, knocked out, and were trapped in what looks like to be a prison room. And apparently there's these guards that basically wear masks with shapes, wearing pink suits. It's like, what? Yeah, that's crazy. And after we see some of our main characters, we see that there are 6 games that people have to play. The first being Red Light, Green Light. The second being... I'm trying to remember the order. This might not be in exact order, but I know Squid Game is last, which it's a game where it's offense versus defense. Okay, let me see. The 5th one was the glass, where people have to hop on left to right glasses, hoping that they can get their landing on the real one instead of the fake one. Because if they fall on the fake, they go to their death. There's also the honeycomb challenge, where they have to basically like try to get the shape of their honeycomb, however the way they can. There's also tug of war, which they have to do in teams. Oh yeah, and then lastly there's like the marbles game, where you gotta make sure to take all your opponent's marbles. And if you lose, you're dead. Yeah, that's kind of how the series goes. And our main character and his crew ended up succeeding in doing just that. Well, mostly. And eventually the main character does end up winning the money, but not after. During one of the nights, there was like an anarchy moment where people could just murder each other like there's no tomorrow. And there was also an option where people could just choose to end the game. And if a majority picked to end the game, they would all get sent home without any money. Oh yeah, and for every person that's dead, apparently an additional 1 million or South Korean won, I think, is added to the prize money. So yeah, the more people that are gone, the higher the cash money. So that was more of a reason or of an incentive for them to keep playing. We later find out that Squid Game was actually run by one of the contestants who decided to play one last time because they were dying from brain cancer. So yeah, that's a little awkward. But yeah, at the end of the series, the main character is trying to stop. Once Hasmin ends up realizing that he has a mission to stop all this from happening. So apparently they're going to do like another season about it. But yeah, this is the summary of what I can give you right now. So I wonder how that's going to go. Oh yeah, let's not forget about the memes for a second. There have been so many people making animations and making their own Squid Games, like Mr. Beast, and yeah, Squid Game has become part of 2021 culture. So yeah, good job, Squid Game. You became so popular, you were even involved in Friday Night Funkin'. Oh my god, that is crazy. Alright, on September 19th, the Cumbre Vieja had a volcanic eruption in La Palma, Spain. The volcano continued erupting until December 13th. Wow, that's a long time. This was the longest eruption in the Canary Islands history, more than double the previous record holder back in 1712, damaging 421 hectares of land. Volcanic eruptions are very unpredictable, so it's not surprising that they started erupting loud explosions after days of simmering down. Nonetheless, lava has moved to the rivers where molten rock is being put. As a result of the eruption, thousands of local buildings have been destroyed and people have fled for their safety. Although the eruption was over, thousands of residents ended up being homeless, and feared that they would have been forgotten after news coverage passes by. It also didn't help that the Prime Minister continuously failed to keep his promise in sending aid to the victims. It's very clear that the people do not trust the Spanish government to pull through. Nonetheless, the government did end up giving 10.5 million euros of aid to help rebuild the area. Wow. Well, all you conservatives out there, or libertarians, I think you might have seen an example of government not working. Huh. On September 20th, Canada had a snap federal election by Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Apparently he wanted to get apparently he wanted to get people's opinions on his election for some reason, but like most people, it's probably most likely due to the fact that he wanted to get a majority. For those of you that don't know, at that point, Canada ended up only having a minority government, meaning they had a plurality of seats but not a majority. So, and because they don't have a majority, some of their legislation of Justin Trudeau's party, the Liberals, could end up actually getting blocked. But back on topic, Governor General Mary Simon issued a writ of elections following Trudeau's request for a snap election. Yeah, oh yeah, and Canada can actually do that, which I would say is definitely a bad power for the country for sure. His main opponents were Conservative Party leader Aaron O'Toole, New Democratic Party leader Jagmeet Singh, Bloc Québécois leader Yves Francois Blanchet, Green Party's leader Annemie Paul, and People's Party leader Maxime Bernier, who actually back in the previous Canadian federal election ended up defecting from the Conservatives Party to form his own party. And he didn't win a seat. So yeah, he ended up losing his own seat. But anyways, to summarize, the Liberals are a center-left party, Conservatives are center-right, the New Democratic Party is a left-wing party, the Bloc Québécois is a Quebec separatist party, the Green Party is an environmentalist party that overall leans more to the left for sure, and the People's Party, who don't have any representation, is basically on the borderline far right, but not quite, but it's a right-wing political party. Needless to say, the other parties got pissed at Trudeau for calling an election during a pandemic, frustrated at his attempts of a power grab in order to take advantage of his approval ratings, and his poor response to the fall of Kabul. The main issues on the campaign were on COVID, gun control, foreign policy, and the environment. There were 2 French language debates and 1 English debate. In the end, Justin Trudeau won, and the makeup of the House of Commons barely even changed. Yeah, thanks Trudeau for wasting people's time. But a couple of interesting things happened. First, the Green Party was so fractured with infighting over the Israeli-Palestinian conflict that one of them before the election ended up switching to the Liberals. Annemie would resign as leader a couple of months later. Also, the People's Party did manage to get more voters get a higher percentage of votes than 2019, but his party still managed to fail at winning any seats. And lastly, the New Democratic Party ended up gaining a seat, which was actually the end of a long decline of a losing streak that had been occurring since the NDP's peak back in 2011 when the party was in the leadership of Jack Layton. On September 22nd, Survivor 41 was released. In Survivor 41, basically, there was a group of 18 people that were switching to 3 tribes. And, yeah. And the format of the game ended up changing completely. Instead of the 39 days that Survivor usually is, it was only 26. And so in order to make it feel like it was a 39-day game, the tribes ended up starting with no rice in the pre-merge. If the tribe loses immunity, not only do they have to go to tribal council, but they would also have their flank get taken, and they would have to earn it back in the next challenge. And on the first challenge, they really need to. It was basically a reward challenge where if you win it, you get the stuff you need, and if you don't win, the bottom 2 tribes would have to earn their supplies for what they need via either a mental challenge, which is like a triangle puzzle that they have to find out how many triangles there are in the triangle, or they had to do strenuous work by carrying water buckets and transferring water into a barrel and make sure it's full. I think it was like 2 barrels I think they had to fill, and that's just how they do it there. There was also a Beware advantage as well, which was like 3 separate idols in Survivor 41. In each idol, each person, it was called a Beware advantage. Apparently they had to like a hidden immunity idol somewhere, and they had to say like a secret phrase, and the hidden immunity idols would not be activated until all the phrases have been said. So I'm sorry. Let me calm down for a minute. Until all the phrases are said, they actually couldn't even vote until then. So, yeah. The Yellow Tribe ended up going through a rocky start. I forgot what the name of the tribes were called, but it was the Green Tribe that basically ended up going through a losing streak, and the Blue Tribe actually never had to go to Tribal Council until the merge. Oh yeah, and speaking of the merge, there was like a fake merge where really, they had to go through a challenge to earn their way to the actual merge, which was weird. Oh yeah, there was also no tribe swap. Apparently, usually in Survivor, there's usually like a tribe swap, which I'm glad there was no tribe swap on that season because tribe swaps are so annoying. God damn. But anyways, after all that said done, oh yeah, there was also the shot in the dark dice where people could actually risk their vote, could actually choose not to vote and instead play their shot in the dark dice, where they can use in exchange for a paper, which gives them a 1 in 6 chance of safety, which is a very risky move. But if they were in trouble, they could play it. And only one person ended up playing their shot in the dark dice on that season. But yeah, after all that, the winner of that season was Erica Kasupanan, which actually ended up being the first Canadian winner in Survivor history, and I think is like the third Asian ever to win Survivor. So yeah, I was hoping an Asian would win after the show of Big Brother, but I hope you guys understood. I'll make sure to put the link in the description for you guys to actually watch the series so that you'll know what I'm talking about. So yeah, moving on. On September 23rd, the red flag meme became trending on Twitter when Jordan773 made a tweet about black women having white friends with a bunch of red flag emojis. Yeah, that's very racist. Anyways, apparently this is supposed to signify a warning about that. Anyways, this tweet was likely inspired by red flags in my room on TikTok. The red flag emoji was introduced in 2010, but the trend got so big that even Twitter and BS Football made their own versions of the whole red flag meme on October 12th. And no, they're not talking about the red flag laws at all. For those of you that don't know, a red flag law is basically a law on guns. So it's basically gun regulation. So yeah, that's not what they're talking about. So just to clarify. Alright, on September 24th, the movie Dear Evan Hansen was released in the US. The film is based off of a 2015 musical of the same name. The story revolves around 17-year-old Evan Hansen, who is suffering from social anxiety. He was an outcast who had recently broken his arm and struggled to get people to sign it. After a while, his classmate Connor Murphy signs it and steals Evan's letters. Once it was discovered that Connor took his own life, he realized that he didn't even know him that well. Turns out, Connor was also an outcast. When Connor's parents mistakenly assume Evan as his friend after finding his letter, he goes along with it, even meeting Connor's sister and his crush Zoe. The movie ends up being a box office bomb, despite the previews looking pretty good. There's a lot in the movie, from the creation of the Connor Project to the note being posted online for crowdfunding and the relationship between Evan and Zoe. We later find out that Evan is going through the same thing and later realizes that he wants to continue living. Yeah, this was a box office bomb. That means they ended up losing money on this film. So yeah, that sucks, but you know, that's business for you. On September 24th, 19-year-old Miya Marcano was reported missing after she missed a flight from Orlando to visit her family in South Florida. Her bedroom door was discovered to be blocked from opening and a window being tampered after her family requested a welfare check on her. Despite officers saying they will inform the family of updates, they said they never got any updates from the police. The family conducted their own investigation and found box cutters that weren't hers. They even noticed that her blanket was in the suspect's car. 27-year-old maintenance man Armando Caballero made obsessive text messages to her and was responsible for the murder. I'm sorry if I botched the last name, by the way. On September 27th, his body was found in his apartment, and it was discovered that he took his own life. Police ended up using his phone records to track down Miya, and her body was found on October 2nd at 10:45 a.m. in a wooded area near Timber Scan along with her purse. She was not sexually assaulted based on police reports. Wow. Yeah. On September 26th, Germany held its federal election to see who would succeed Angela Merkel as the Chancellor of Germany. Her party's successor, the Christian Democratic Union, which coalitions with the Christian Social Union in Bavaria, is Armin Laschet. A contentious primary left him an awful start at the beginning of the campaign, as well as his response to floods in Germany. The Social Democratic Party was able to start growing their support, led by Olaf Scholz. The German Green Party, led by Annalena Baerbock, had grown more popular in this election than ever before, even being on the lead at one point, but some scandals in the Green Party, including such as a bonus scandal, underperformance in regional election, and plagiarism, which was what helped put the Greens get them out of their lead. And on election day, voter fragmentation was highest since 1949. The SPD won a plurality of votes for the first time since 2002, being the CDU. The Green Party had their best showing ever, garnering almost 15% of the votes, but both parties were attempting to garner a coalition because none of them had a majority, so that way they could determine who the next chancellor was. In the end, the SDP won the most amount of seats, and Olaf Scholz became the next chancellor of Germany after forming a coalition with the Greens and another party known as the Free Democrats. If you want to know more about how the German political system works, YouTuber Lucas Bender made a great video about the political parties, and I will be putting all those links in the description below. Yeah, sorry I've been struggling to talk lately. I haven't done this series in a while because of some trolls recently. So yeah, please bear with me on this. Alright, lastly, on September 30th, Coldplay, the band that played Paradise, and BTS, a famous K-pop band, ended up releasing their music video called My Universe. In this music video, the song is mainly about what I'm guessing is the lover, and about how much about them being the universe in order to display how important this person is to them. I don't know. What if the person's gay? I don't know. But anyways, yeah, there was like a lot of aliens going around in this music video. This felt really awesome. Some of the characters ended up being holograms, which was really awesome. I also like the fact that there was a security system monitoring the universe as well, that was controlled by an alien too, and that was awesome. And I love the fact that it was like shutting down near the end. It was really freaking awesome. Oh, and I also love the background while the singers were singing. It just felt really, really amazing. And I just love the overall vibe of it. It's a really catchy song. He's gay and you are my universe. Man, if I wish I could play some music, but I don't want to get copyright claimed again. Thanks a lot, Gaming Bro. But anyways, yeah. Honestly, I don't really have much else to say. I think that's going to do it for now, guys. I hope you all have enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.
Time for the bloopers.
On September 11th. Oh yeah. Oh god. Oh yeah, I gotta read this. September 11th marked the 20th anniversary of 9/11, which was a day when there was a terrorism. Alright, on September 26th, Germany held its federal election to see who would succeed Angela Merkel as the Chancellor of Germany. Her party successor, the Christian damn it, I don't know what happened to the script, but apparently I don't have his name on there. Why? Under her party was the Christian Democratic Union, which coalitions with the Christian Social Union in Bavaria. Armin Laschet, there we go. Her party's successor, the Christian Democratic Union, I'm gonna have to redo that.